it's Cheryl and Eric from Cruising with Cheryl and Eric. I'm Cheryl, this is Eric.
So as you can tell, it's our background is a little bit different. We're actually driving home on Labor Day Monday from the Jersey Shore, and the traffic is predictably interesting. So while we're doing 6 miles an hour,
and before I take a nap,
yes, figured we would do a quick video based on some recent happenings in the world, in the cruise world. So basically, this video is about the importance of travel insurance.
Yes.
And not just for the normal, what people think about for travel insurance. So what had happened, what brought this about was last week, Hurricane Idalia came through, Florida, and basically it caused the port of Tampa to be closed for roughly, I think it was 24 hours. And there was I believe it was a couple of ships, but there was a Norwegian ship, a Carnival ship that had to basically stay at sea for an extra day. And, to me,
okay.
Yeah, we would be fine with that. But there were some people who were understandably upset, miffed, and
did not understand the reason why they couldn't go back to the port
and
the day they were supposed to.
How it was out of the control of the Carnival Cruise Line. The port was shut down. There was no marine traffic was getting in or out. Didn't matter, what was going on, because the Coast Guard, the hurricane came through and the Coast Guard shut it down so that they could check the port and make sure that it was safe for the ships to come in.
Long story short, basically an act of God. Nobody has control of course, or an act of whatever you feel that it may be, not necessarily
Mother Nature,
Mother Nature rearing her ugly head. But at the same time, Eric and I have driven to a lot of the ports. We've gone down the night or two before, and we stayed a night or two at the end of the trip. You have to kind of be prepared for the what ifs. Now, during hurricane season,
in particular,
cruise ships will, because of their equipment and their ability to, be on top of the weather, because they are cruise ships, there will be changes there will be likely changes in your itinerary when you're on the cruise ship. That being said, travel insurance, and if possible, to stay a night or two ahead of the trip, and a night or two after the trip, so that
give you that
unforeseen circumstances will give you that ability to get home at a decent time, or whatever you can.
So to me, the importance of the travel insurance is because it gives you, it's not going to fix the situation, but it gives you the peace of mind to know that, like in this circumstance, you're on this Carnival ship and you get back on Thursday instead of Wednesday, and now you got to pay out of pocket for that return flight home, or you got to pay the extra day parking fees, or whatever the situation is. You're going to be compensated for that, or you're going to get that money back.
But it's not guaranteed. Like, the cruise ships, they're going to do whatever they can. The airlines are going to do whatever they can. But just remember, you're not the only travelers, so you mentally have to prepare. So if you're going away in February, for example, if you're flying to Florida to go on a cruise and you live in the Northeast, because we live in the Northeast, that's a reason to plan a day or two before and a day or two after, because you never know what the weather is going to be like.
Sure. So we're kind of talking about two different things here, but both are important when planning that cruise. The one being, give yourself extra time to get to the ship and to get home from the ship, and have that travel insurance peace of mind, so that any unforeseen circumstances, you've got a potential that could cause a potential out-of-pocket situation. Because I mean, you think about it, if you're trying to book a flight same day from Orlando or Miami up into Philly or Newark or wherever, you're not getting that $99 fare. You're getting the $300, $400, $500 fare because it's same day.
You need that buffer,
right?
and
we definitely feel you need a buffer on the way down. Before the cruise, I always, I will not fly the day of a cruise. I will absolutely refuse.
Well, especially with the travel industry now, you never know.
Every day there's some flight being canceled or delayed in the news, and I would be less than thrilled if I miss that ship's movement, if I miss that departure day because I had a 6 a.m. flight from Philly to Miami, which should arguably take 90 minutes. I could be in Miami by 8 a.m. and here it is 6 o'clock that night, and the ship's leaving without me. That would be brutal, in my opinion. So give yourself that extra time. Yes, it costs you an extra $100 or so for a hotel the night before. To me, that $100 is worth it to get down there, and you get we usually drive, but I'll to be totally upfront with you.
He usually drives.
Yeah,
Seriously.
We're reluctant flyers. We're not scared of flying or anything like that. I'm reluctant because it's a nightmare. The TSA and getting undressed and getting there 2-3 hours ahead of time and sitting there waiting, and then the cattle call boarding, and you get on. That whole thing's a nightmare to me. Particularly when somebody you travel with overpacks for every cruise.
Hashtag overpacker and not denying it. Okay, just saying.
Having that, the ability to be on your own schedule, and I don't mind the drive. A lot of times, like if we're cruising out of Miami, luckily for us, my sister lives in Orlando, so we'll drive nonstop 15 hours from southern New Jersey to Orlando. Get in there around dinner time, and we'll hang out and have dinner with my sister and her fiance, and have a nice relaxing evening with them. And the next morning we'll get up and drive that final 4 hours, 3.5, 4 hours to Miami or Fort Lauderdale.
Now the buffer with the insurance is, first of all, you really need to do your homework on travel insurance. You have to make sure that you get the best possible option for you.
Cruise line insurance is not always that option.
Correct.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
It's okay. It's all right. I'll get you later. Anyway, okay. If there's a death in the family, if you suddenly become ill, whatever the case may be, you want, in my opinion, you should get the highest tier available for that, because it gives you a broader coverage. That's not
more
correct.
options.
It'll come to me at 3 o'clock in the morning, but I won't do a video.
So there are different levels, different kinds of travel insurance. The cruise line travel insurance is, yes, it is the least expensive, but it's also got the least coverage. There are private companies that's all they do is travel insurance. Well, that's one of their areas, but and those other plans offer significantly more coverage, and they're not that much more expensive. The cruise line insurance is usually like 6%. I think it's either 6% or 8% of the cost of your statement. Okay, these private companies, they're usually 10 to 14% of the cost of the trip. But cruise line insurance only covers cruise line. The private ones, they cover the air, they cover
hotels.
The hotels, they cover the cruise itself, they cover in destination medical emergencies, and they will fly you home from whatever Caribbean island you're in for better medical care, and it's much more comprehensive.
Now, if you don't use it, you don't get it back.
Correct.
But
Correct.
At the same time, it's a nice thing to have.
Yes. It's that peace of mind. What's your peace of mind worth? Do you have life insurance? Do you have car insurance? Do you have home insurance? to me, travel insurance is the same kind of thing. You know, if you never use it, okay, you know, so yeah, it costs you an extra, you know, 100, 200, 300 bucks for that trip. But the one time you need it, it'll
don't have it.
Right. Well, even if the one time you actually need it and you use it, you'll never want to be without it again. You know, and for those of you that travel more than once a year, there are annual plans that you can purchase that are even less expensive per trip. You know, instead of doing say $200 or $300 for trip 1 and another $200 or $300 for trips, you know, 2, 3, and 4, you pay like $400 for the whole year. That might be worth looking into for those of you that, you know, like to cruise or like to travel, you know, multiple times a year. So, wrapping up, I'm not going to, you know, we've already been blabbering on for
17 minutes?
11 minutes.
Oh, I don't have my glasses on.
Our recommendation for your own peace of mind and to take care of those what if scenarios.
Travel insurance.
Get travel insurance. If you want some recommendations, let me know. You know, I've got a couple companies that I've worked with that I highly recommend. And fly down the day before, drive down the day before. You know, don't plan on arriving, you know, in destination at noon the day of. You know, it's going to cause more stress and hassle than it's worth. And if you like anything that we're talking about or anything you've heard from us, make sure you hit that thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. Hopefully we won't be doing too many of these videos from our car while we're on the Garden State Parkway now we're up to 14 miles an hour. But besides that, you know, let us know what your thoughts are on travel insurance. And see ya. We'll talk to you next time.
Have a good day.